Check, check, check. Alright, cool, cool, cool. I have to hear myself. Alright, let's check the desktop audio. I probably should have done this before. We're gonna get here.
A classy, sort of sophisticated, kind of old money look is really taking over.
Why is no one trying to be sexy anymore? Why?
Okay, alright, cool. Alright, sound good, audio good. I can see it working. This is gonna start.
I feel like this whole class.
Alright. After the party is the after party. Welcome everybody. I am your host Ray. Normally I do that before I log in, but today's my day off. And I just want to get I got a lot of content to do, and I'm going to be real focused today. So, and this is the first thing I wanted to knock out. So, the first thing we're doing is a reaction to a video by Patience Zena. And it's about why young women are suddenly covering up. So, the summer is almost over. I think what a lot of people, what I've seen, especially going to work and then going outside, there's a lot of people who they're skimpy. The women are dressing very skimpy. The legs are out. The booty shorts is out. They wearing whatever. Now, obviously, you see my title, Dress Your Size. Now, I've been adamant on dress your size, and this is not, the first thing I'm going to say, this is not a knock to big women or shapely women, but knowing what you can put on your body and to look best in. Now, am I the most fashionista nigga out there? No, I'm not. But I wear what fits me and what's comfortable for me and what looks good on me. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of people out here, and I hate to admit it, as my hair is nappy and my hairline is uneven, there's a lot of them that I put some stuff on and it doesn't look good on you. And you ain't got no one to tell you, especially some of you women. There's a lot of y'all just put whatever on and it just don't look good. I'm not even talking about looking bummy. I'm talking about when y'all actually try and dress and it just don't look right. And I'm sorry, look again. I ain't the biggest fashion nigga, but there's some shit who's I don't know why the fuck she put that on. Or it just really doesn't really look, it will look good on someone else, but it just don't look good on her. Again, I'm not the end all be all. But there's something, and to me, there's some things that not everybody can pull off. And you have to understand that and then understand your body so you can probably fit what does look good on you. So that's where my dress your size thing coming from. It's not a knock to big women or BBWs or nothing, because there's skinny women I see, they put stuff on that don't look good on them too. So I just want to get that out there. So we're going to get to this video about young women suddenly covering up, because I could give you my reasons why, but we're going to let the video rock. So let's get into the video.
Classy, sort of sophisticated, kind of old money look is really taking over.
Why is no one trying to be sexy anymore? Why is there an attack on sexiness? Clean girl, old money, no.
Hello, my dears. The girls are covering up. They're showing less skin, they're toning things down, and I don't seem to be the only one noticing.
Are crop tops on the outs? I feel like they're going out of fashion. The reign of the crop tops lasted for so long. They have been a staple throughout the years. But I feel like this whole classy, sort of sophisticated, kind of old money look is really taking over. And crop tops don't really fit into that category. Bodysuits are just apocalyptic, they're taking over. Even just shirts that end more at the hip line, the midriff showing a little bit, but not the whole whole stomach is just it's so much more in fashion right now, which means that I literally have to start over.
She's definitely...
So I'm gonna give my opinion on that. crop tops are what I mean when and look again. I'm not trying to be mean. Like if you got the body, to me, it's like crop tops is one of those things you got to have the body for. You ain't got to have a whole six pack, but you got to at least have a body for it. Not everybody can pull off a crop top. Again, I'm from DC. All right, and one thing I always say about DC women is the DC women can dress their ass off. I feel like, as far as when it comes to like fashion and style, DC women got it down pat. Especially if you're in the Prince George's County area, like I am, the DC, Maryland, Virginia. Our girls can dress. So again, crop. But to me, there's things like crop tops. I feel like those for. I'm not gonna say women in shape, but women is got a body and is not sloppy. Because I've seen bigger women with crop tops and it looks fine, but I also seen some women that just like it. Not trying to be mean, but they look like melted ice cream when they put a crop top on, and it just don't fit them very well. So again, not trying to be mean, but it's just one of those things where I say not everybody could pull it off. So, um, them saying crop tops is going out of style. It's just I don't. I could I have other reasons, but let's continue.
Not imagining it, young women are starting to cover up a lot more recently. Even the fast fashion industry is noticing. Take PLT, for example. This is a company that...
Okay, so this is what I mean. Like, for a lot of people with crop tops or mid-dress showing. Look at the body on her. She got a body. Even though she's a little thicker, she got a little body. Like, none of these women are sloppy with it. But they know what they can pull off and what they can't. So, this is what I mean when I tell people, like, dress your size. Because, like I said, I've seen big girls with this, but just don't look right. I've seen girls that, they don't have a hourglass figure, but they're more of a square body figure. They always have this, and it never looks
built
good.
its entire empire on top.
And it never looks good on them. So, okay, so you gotta, to me, I feel like when it comes to like dressing out, you really gotta coordinate what you be putting on. So, there you go. But this is what I mean though. Like, these women look good. All these women, like, especially her. This look good. She looked good in this. Not knocking it. So, there you go.
Tiny nightlife dresses, yet they've had a complete rebrand. They're now opting for more muted tones and a very stripped back minimalist aesthetic. And the
So I want to. Okay, this is the perfect picture of what I mean. Now, also, summer is almost over, and in my opinion, when it comes to the fall is where like the fashion is fashion to me. Like, I know a lot of people say, I can't wait for summer, the fall is like where I feel like some of the best fashion comes out because it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just in the right spot. So spring too, but like fall, it's just like, this is where I feel like the people that could really dress show out. So a lot of these stuff you could see people wearing in the fall because it's usually around perfect weather around this time. So none of this is meant. So, and this is more of a classy look with a little bit of sex appeal, but this is more of a lot of classy look. It's more of a modest look that I feel like she's talking about. So, let's keep going.
opting for more muted tones and a very stripped back minimalist aesthetic. And the founder of PLT, Umar Kamani, told Drapers, "What we've done now is not focus on having a dress on site at £4, but having a dress that's thicker, not see-through and a better fit." Except he could have just continued to make the exact same outfits and the exact same dress styles, just with much better fabric, except he completely reshaped and revamped their entire aesthetic, which suggests to me that this is more than just about fabric quality. I think that he was placing his bet that the nightlife wear era was coming to an end. Because it's not just PLT. Even maxi skirts took over the internet in 2025, with articles even reporting on this shift and saying how it seems as though we're moving away from mini skirts. Now, I have seen some people...
This is gonna sound fucked up. This is gonna sound fucked up. I blame when that whole thing with the little tennis skirts came in, and there's a oh god, you gotta have the legs for that. I'm sorry. Look, I sound shallow. I know I sound shallow. And look at, I know y'all looking at me like, oh, this dude have to audacity. No, you gotta have the legs for that. Dude, ooh. Let me tell you something. Going home, and then some people just did not need to be wearing some of those little mini skirts. But they was trying to show out. But I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't many that could pull off that shit. I feel like you got to be, again. This is why the whole thing is called dress to size. Some of you big backs, and I mean like literal big backs. Those were the ones that was wearing the mini skirts. It's like they was big up top, but they had small little legs, so they feel like they, so they feel like they could like get away with it, but they couldn't. It couldn't. And then some of them, look, it's just let's keep going. I'm trying not to be mean.
We'll say that this might be a politically motivated or a politically influenced shift. However, this doesn't hold up for me because when I started looking at the women who are driving this shift, they come from all different perspectives. You have left-wing feminists, you have religious women, and you have apolitical women who are completely detached from any political ideology whatsoever. So I personally don't believe that this is politically motivated or being politically driven, but I do agree that when different women from different backgrounds with different views start going towards the same direction, surely that can't be a coincidence. Because these are all women who would probably argue with each other about most things, yet they all seem to agree on this. Why? Now, for some of them, it's very simple. They are just tired.
You ever decided that you didn't want to be a baddie anymore? You just decided you were going to have a moment of, I'm not doing that, because it's exhausting. The hair, the nails, the skin, the makeup. It's a lot. It's a full-time job. So you have a few weeks where you become elderly because you need a break from the routine and the maintenance. Like sometimes I look back at my old stuff, I'm like, wow, you were such a glam queen. And then I look at me now and my makeup is a lot more toned down.
Notice she said her makeup is a lot more toned down, but she's still kicked up. So what is toned down? To me, what is toned down? Because she still got the eyelashes, she still got the eyeliner, she still got pounds of makeup on her face. I sound very red pill right now. That's funny. She looked like she got her lips done. So to me it's just like, if this is toned down, then what was you must have been like having drag queen makeup on or something like that if you feel like this is toned down.
The hair is even toned down. Everything is toned down a little bit. And it's because truth is, I'm tired.
And honestly, I hear it. The amount of time and effort that this takes to do and maintain, it really can leave you wondering who and what is this even for? Now, the answer to that will depend on who you ask. For some of these women, they believe that the more revealing style choices are influenced by men. Many of the women I saw discussing how they changed and evolved their style used a lot of feminist terminology, especially the male gaze. That came...
Shout out to my boy Clarence, aka Shining Wolf. We've had talks about this all the time, and I've always said, I think, I know the male gaze is real, but I also think it's bullshit that everybody say is anything on the male gaze, because I feel like when people talk about the male gaze, they always talk about the lustful natures of men, and I think that's bullshit because because if you've been following a lot of especially red pill channels, a lot of them don't like all that super sexy shit. They do like the modest shit. They like the Claire Huxtable shit. I mean, some of this stuff is good for the clubs, but it's just they don't want you wearing that all the fucking time. And I don't even think it's control. It's just that men like variety. And this is what I tell people. I said, okay, you think this was, you think this looked good. You think because the less you show the male, the more you're going to get male's attention, but a lot of the males is just like, But there's some stuff where I seen like women dress up, and men's like, I like that too, and it goes, I like that too, and then there's some stuff I see women wear that is just like, oh, I'm trying to stay away from the male gaze, or I don't want the males to get that much. And turns out that's exactly what they like. So it's just like, do you really know what you're really going for? Also, like, again, men love modesty. I don't understand. Look, I understand. Like, we're men. We get attracted to things, especially if you got the tops with the titties out. We're gonna look at the titties. If you got something that shows off your ass, we're gonna look at your ass. But men do like modesty, and this is why I say the male gaze is bullshit, because you're only focusing on the lustful natures of men. You don't understand. It's like, okay, if you really trying to perform for the male gaze, okay, if I'm going to a lounge, what would this look like? If I'm going to his mother's house, how would you want me to dress? If I'm just going if I'm just going to Walmart, how would he want me to dress? This is why I like when women, when they don't dress super, when they dress real regular, and they notice that they get more attention and like regular shit than the more glammed up shit, and they just like, why is it? Because you don't really understand that men like a natural looking woman. And we say that all the time, but y'all don't listen, which is also why, like, I'm always against the male gaze shit, because a lot of them really don't know what men want.
Up quite a lot. Now, the male gaze is basically a feminist theory that we view women through a heterosexual male point of view, and feminists argue that this is the reason why women are often portrayed in very sexual or sexualized ways, because women are essentially being portrayed as objects for male sexual desire. Now,
first of all, we as men, we have testosterone. We get horny. We get horny all the fucking time. Look, we can't help the shit. It's in our nature, and I tell people this all the time. It's in our nature. Like, we're always controlling it. It's like when Bruce Banner says, "I'm always angry," in that scene in the Avengers when he punched that big ass monster. He's like, "That's my secret. I'm always angry." Imagine that for men and testosterone. Like, niggas is always horny, but we just have to control it. And the better control you have, the more clear like your visions and your thoughts are. Because testosterone, I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes when you do things while you're horny, you make a lot of bad decisions. But when you control that, you have discipline, especially sexual discipline. You make better choices. You make better views. You have a better outlook on life, which is why a lot of people say you need to practice discipline or sexual discipline, because it will fare better. Because you'll lose money just being a horny brother. So, trust me, I've been there.
of course, most young women don't wake up and think, what outfit should I wear that's going to appease or appeal to the male gaze this morning? They often just wear whatever they like or think is trendy, which is why for some of these women who've moved away from wearing revealing clothing, they kind of talk about it as though they've had an awakening moment. They find themselves questioning the idea of wearing more revealing clothes or posting photos of themselves in revealing clothes online.
A year ago today, I made the decision to stop posting bikini pictures on Instagram. I was so sick of the type of attention that I would get from guys when I would post these pictures. I was sick of exes hitting me back up once they saw these pictures. Like, I do not want someone to ever want to be back in my life just purely for my body, or for someone to hit me up just because they like how my body looks. I also just don't want to attract a guy that's easily swayed by those types of pictures. Like, that is just not attractive to me. Does this mean I'm still protected from getting lusted over? No, obviously I can still be lusted after. It just adds a layer of like protection. It just kind of helps filter out such a large group of guys. To sound cocky, but like obviously as a girl, like I know I could post certain pictures, would get certain guys' attention, would come running back to me. It would feed my ego, but I'm just over it. I don't want that type of connection anymore.
It's funny because men say this shit all the time. It's like, okay, you post this, you're going to get the attention that you're looking for, even if you don't want it. So this is why, like, when women say they don't have options, that's it, because they have to filter out. I say you're supposed to filter people out, but that doesn't change the fact that you still got a bunch of options. It's just that if you lower your filter, obviously more is going to come through. But if you tighten that filter, there's only a few is going to come through. So, when people say, I don't have that many options, I said, bullshit. You got more options than you imagine. But as a person, like anybody, you're supposed to be your own personal filter of what you like and what you don't like. And then sometimes, you got the filter on two types of where you have to loosen it a little bit. Okay, he doesn't have to be 6 foot. He could be, average height. He doesn't have to make, so you loosen the filter. Okay, he doesn't have to make 100K. He can make about 80K. You loosen that filter. That's it. So you're still getting good guys, but the thing is, you're getting rid of the bad guys, but you're also getting rid of some of the good guys that, fall into there. Because, like I said, we're men. We like a pretty woman. We like a very attractive woman, but not everybody's trying to be a gooner, and this is what men are talking about.
Now, objectification came up a lot in these videos. The idea that covering up was a way for them to avoid unwanted attention or to avoid attention from potentially dangerous men. Some of them even said that it was a way for them to feel as though they had ownership over their own bodies. I also saw some women saying they felt like dressing in revealing clothing distracted from their other qualities and diminished the more interesting parts of their personality.
Which is what men have been saying. You're only gonna, the thing is, it's just like, men have probably said this to women, and they just say shit, and y'all just be like, shut up. Y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Who are you? You're a man. Stop trying to control what I wear. I wear what I want and all that other stuff. And then, usually, like, what people don't understand, men used to warn people about this. Don't do it. You're not going to get the attention you want. And then, it goes to shut up. And then, once they finally realize this, niggas, the person that told them be like, I fucking told you this. It always worked like that. And trust me when I say this, it always worked like that. Any woman that was hard to do is just like, yo, you don't want that type of attention. A lot of people say that men don't protect women, but in my opinion, I said, we're the first one to tell you, hey man, there's some weirdos out here. If you're going to be posting, you're going to get there's some weirdos out there that you don't want to see. But go ahead and post it if you want to. You're going to find out the easy way or the hard way. And then when they find out the hard way, that's where we look at them like, I fucking told you so.
And I don't even know if I'd be considered like a hardcore modest dresser, but I'm not showing off cheeks and I'm not showing off cleavage, right? I do it because in this world where women are so constantly taught, like, no matter how smart and successful you are, currency is still showing off your hot body. Like, I do want to push against that. I am tired of it. I am fatigued of it. And unpopular opinion, I actually feel like my beauty is shown off more by presenting myself more, like, not trying to lead with body. And I know that's unpopular, but I have found it actually gives me more confidence. And I work hard for my physique. I have no problem with women who show off their physique. I really don't. I actually just feel like it flatters my beauty more, and it's a better representation of how smart I am. Not that I know very smart women that show off their body and lead with their body. Look, hey, I get it. But I don't know. I just feel like that's what's expected of women, and I am tired of that. I don't want to do that because I don't know. I feel like it's very driven by male lust. Our culture and how we dress and how we present ourselves on social media or in real life is very driven by male lust. And I personally really, really, really want to fight against that.
Now, I do find that
I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but you see what I'm saying, right? I feel like everything she said in Improvement Plan. And the thing is, it's just like, y'all do it for the male lust. And that's the other part I said. Half of y'all do it for the male lust, but when y'all stop liking the male lust, y'all start blaming men for it. And it's just like, no. And this is where I be like checking people. You knew what you was doing when you came in. You knew that's the type of shit that you wanted. You knew that was the type of attention that you wanted, and then now that you're older, now you don't want that attention no more. It's like, nah. We told you this was going to happen.
the whole dressing for men viewpoint really interesting because there isn't exactly a shortage of men online talking about how they actually find it more attractive when women dress more modestly. So it is really about how they actually find.
So this is what I mean by variety. Like, look at where they at. So where they at, you start dressing like this, men are going to like it. I said, okay, if you're on a beach, okay, men are going to see a woman in a bikini, right? Right. But if you're in a place like this, it's like you in a crop top and hot pants. Man, it's just like, okay, that's not the time and place for that. And the thing is, I think this is what men, we understand that a lot of women didn't, and I feel like a lot of women don't get until later. Time and place. Okay, these where they're at,
And it more attractive.
that is fine. Where they're at, that is fine. Especially chick on the right, where she at, that is fine. What she's wearing is fine. But if you dress like a porn star or stripper in some of these areas, we gonna be like, you ain't got no class. And this is why I always said the male gaze, you talking subjugating the male gaze is bullshit, because we the ones who tell you that, hey man, especially if we're going to places like this, and if you come out there in Daisy Dukes and a crop top, we're gonna say, yo, don't you think you should put something on more modest? We're fucking going to a high end restaurant. They're going to fucking Hooters. So again, like, that's why I hate when women use the word male gaze, because they usually talk about the lustful natures of men and not the entirety of a male view of where time and place and where you would wear what type of event.
When women
Look at this, like, if my woman come out dressed like this, I'm in love. This is more old school. This is like real old school fashion, and this is nice. But if my woman come out like this, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm showing her off. Not like a trophy wife, but yeah, it was like, my girl can dress. And again, I want to reiterate this because I say this all the time. My older sister, shout out to my older sister, because she is a bigger woman. It's like, she's not sloppy, but she is a bigger woman. And I've always said this. I said my older sister dressed better than most women half her size, because she knows what works for her and she knows what look good on her. So, and to me, my sister could dress. She could dress her ass off. That's why she's married. But she's also, everywhere she goes, she presented. She look good. Anywhere she go. Anytime I'm at an event and she's there, she's dressed to the fucking nines. And I be like, every time I say, look good. You look good, sis. You look good, sis. You look good. So, again, she's a big woman. Not sloppy, but she is a bigger woman. But she can dress her ass off. And some of you women can't. So, that's a real quick shout out to myself. And I tell her too. I think you dress better than a lot of these women out here.
dress more modestly. So it is really interesting to me to see women framing this shift as
like this, dressing for the male gaze. But this isn't bad. Like, if we're going to play tennis or something, this isn't bad.
as them switching from dressing for the male
Versus the female gaze. As a man, I would like this too. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. No one's looking, no man, what man you looking at this is go, oh my God. My God. Like, no, this is like, damn, girl, you look good. You come dressed like this, it's like, damn, girl, you look good. She look like she come from money. So this is like, so yeah, this is what I mean when I say the male gaze and the female gaze is stupid, because the male would have liked either or.
gaze to dressing to the female gaze, especially when you consider the fact that for many women who do dress in more revealing clothing or who do dress less modestly, they will also say that they dress for themselves and not for the attention of men. It is interesting to me how we often frame these choices to shift as a reaction to men, when I sometimes don't actually think it has anything to do with them at all. Hear me out, okay? Men are going to be attracted to you regardless of what you choose to wear. As we know, there are of course men who find women who dress in more skin tight and revealing clothing very sexy, and as I've just shown, there are also men who find women who dress more modestly and more covered up very sexy. You unfortunately cannot dress your way out of male attraction, and surely we're at the point now of understanding that how a woman dresses doesn't cast a spell over a man's self-control. A man who's going to harm women is going to do so regardless of whether she's covered head to toe or not, because what's actually proven to protect women from this kind of violence isn't clothing. It's living in a society that punishes predators and doesn't treat women like second-class citizens. It is all
Message to, and this is why, like, sometimes with men, when we like go out in clubs and it's just like, if you're wearing something like super revealing, super skimpy, like some dudes, they're gonna have a problem with that because they know that other dudes is gonna try you, and then the man knows that I might have to fight a nigga today. When she coming up dressed like that, it's like, damn, I might have to fight a nigga today. I might have to be on guard or some shit like that. Because again, a dude don't, when we see you, we don't, unless, you know, that man is wrapped around you or, you know, have his arm around your shoulder, we're not going to know that that's your woman or not. And even then, some niggas still try. But most of the time, it's just like, if you come in and then a nigga come and disrespect you, like, I, as a man, got to come through and be like, yo, she good, my nigga. That's my woman. She's good. So, there you go.
also worth remembering that most men aren't dangerous. Most of the harm that is caused to women is usually done by a small minority of men. Now, that being said, that doesn't change the fact that the fear that many women feel is very much real. And I think that that fear is often what women are usually reacting to, because you can genuinely feel as though you attract the wrong kind of attention. And I'm sure you probably are attracting attention that you don't want, even if it's not always 100% accurate to assume that lust or attraction is the reason for the attention, because the fact is people stare for all different types of reasons. But covering up clearly does give some women a sense of control, a feeling that they're able to gatekeep their bodies and decide who has access to seeing it or who has access to it. And so for some,
as you should, by the way. You and women are the gatekeepers to sex, like every other man that's it. So you need to have control over that. Some men are not worth seeing that, and which is another reason why a lot of boyfriends be real protective. It's like, they don't need to see what you have. It's like, that's for me, or some shit like that. I know it sounds kind of like controlling, but it's not really. It's just like, it's more or less the protection and some shit like that. Some people just don't need to see you or be around you, or they probably have energy that you don't need to be around. And sometimes that's where the protective nature of men comes in, because we don't we get that most niggas be lusting, so we keep that shit under wraps.
some women, this is the path that leads them towards dressing more modestly. Now, before we continue, in this video, I am going to use words like modest and modestly throughout, and I just want to make it clear because I do understand that in the US, these words have a very religious connection. Over here in the UK, they don't. I am using them as a very neutral way to describe women choosing to wear more clothing or choosing to cover up more. I am not using it to signal or to imply any religiousness at all. But speaking of religion, that was also another reason I found for why some young women are choosing to dress more modestly. Yes, they are finding God. Now, listening to the Christian women was oddly giving me deja vu to the feminist women. Now, I'm going to play the videos I saw, see if you can hear the pattern yourself.
As a woman of God, I do not dress for the male gaze, I dress for the king's gaze. Come on now. That was so cringy, please cut that out. Once upon a time, I used to dress very modestly because for me, the way I dressed was a way of getting validation and attention from men. As long as you see the way you dress as a way of getting validation from people, of course you're gonna go to extremes to try and obtain that, but that does not work. So these days, I try to dress in a way that's modest, honoring to God, but also still has me in it. I don't want to lose my personality.
Before I gave my...
I'm gonna be nice, but I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Translation. I used to be a hoe, but then I found God. I used to dress a little skimpy until I found God. But I still want to have a little bit of me in some of my model, which is fine. I don't knock anybody that found God, but especially. But some of y'all still y'all dress like holy hoes. like, I don't, like you only prostitute for the Lord or some shit like that. Some of y'all still like. Maybe you don't show a lot of cleavage, but you show enough cleavage. I've seen this. Some of you religious joints are just as, I'm not gonna say just as bad, but y'all don't fully let go. Y'all don't dress like nuns either. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I like to Christ. I used to find my worth on outward things, and I actually used to almost idolize my beauty and my body and really put it out there. Today, my heart posture is my worth is not found in anything outward. I love the body and the face that God gave me, but that's not the most important thing about me. And so I'm okay with dressing modest and not wearing thongs and not posting those like very revealing Instagram pictures and showing too much skin. Not even just because I don't want to attract the wrong people, but because it's a heart posture within me that I'm letting the world know that's not where my value comes from.
Did you hear the similarities? I mean, even the girl in the first video literally says she doesn't dress for the male gaze, she dresses for the king's gaze. If you strip away the religious language or the feminist terminology, they're basically saying the same thing in different fonts. And even for the women who frame this change in aesthetic as a part of growing up or maturing, also post clips or post videos of themselves saying things like, growing up is realizing that you don't need to dress for the male gaze. While others state that as they age, they just wanted to dress a lot more classy and they wanted to feel like their look was more elevated.
Okay, I'm really about to expose myself here, but I really wanted to talk about like how my fashion has shifted as I've gotten older into my 20s, and like how the more, I don't know, classy, elegant way and like modest way of dressing has done more for me than what I previously used to wear. And like this outfit is so cute and so fun, but I feel like it's not giving elevated woman, it's giving she just wants to party in her 20s. So this to me is like where I'm at today, but this is just giving sophisticated. This is giving elegance. It's giving a modern woman who is comfortable in her skin and knows she looks good, but doesn't need to show too much.
Now this.
Be mindful, men go through this too. It's not even just like women. Men go through this too. Sometimes you look at your stuff, it's just like, I don't have enough, because I was going through this the other day. I said, some of my clothes are cool. It's just like, but I need more adult wear, like going out to the lounge, not to a bar, but like a lounge, or going to like a little jazz club or some shit like that. So, you start wearing clothes for that. Like, you start wearing, like, you feel like a grown-ass man. Men go through this, too. It's just like, don't get me wrong, we like our Marvel t-shirts, our comic t-shirts, and stuff like that. But, we try to look more adult. We put on a blazer. We put on, I'm about to have a line of Cosby sweaters. I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm going to have I already got like 2 sweaters, and some, I'm about to get some more. So it's going to be a Cosby sweater type of winter for me. So I already planned on it. But also, what was I about to say? Yeah, we men go through this too. Like, I feel like my taste needs to grow. So I'm not even knocking women on this. It's just sometimes, it's cute, but I feel like more of an adult when I go outside. So maybe not put on the Jordans today. Maybe we put on some Stacey Adams or some Gator boots, some shit like that. Put on a suit sometimes. Feel like an adult. Yeah, and then look more distinguished, look more clean. Like, it's a more clean look. So men go through this too. I'm not gonna knock women on that. Men go through that too.
This kind of leads us into the whole old money aesthetic that's risen in popularity in recent years. Now, the old money aesthetic is basically a rebranding of the classic preppy style. Think Cher and Dion from Clueless or Blair Waldorf in Gossip Girl. This is pretty much what old...
Which is also my next, and I'm probably going to put this on my other channel too, but this is my next thing I was going to say. 90s fine. You see Stacey Dash and all that other stuff. You've been seeing a lot of women. I've been seeing this, and this is going to be more of a trend as we go into the winter. Especially since I think the old, I don't want to say the BBL look, but a lot of people, like, they're looking back at some of the women in the 90s and 90s fine. And, you know, they talk about some of these women that were 90s fine. Let me see if I can look this up on YouTube. We're going to get back to this, though, but I'm pretty sure there's a video. 90s fine. Yeah, okay. I'm going to mute the music, but this is only a minute long, but the aesthetic of 90s fine, I feel like this coming to a resurgence because a lot of people, especially since a lot of men said, yo, looking back at some of the women we done grew up with, like the Nia Longs, the Vivica A. Fox, some of the women you see on the 90s show, it's like, these women were fine. I was like, there was a picture of Leslie Jones, like back in the 90s, and she looked good. And, you know, people say this, and it's an aesthetic for men, too, because they're going back to some of the men that they grew up in the 90s, and it's just like a lot of women say, they don't make men. I just see the video, like, a woman just put this up, she's like, they don't make men like this no more. Forgot to mute it. And she was talking about, they don't make men like this no more. And I think that's going to be coming back, too, where men be like, shit, I'm 90s handsome. I'm not going to say 90s fine as a man, but you know, a lot of men gonna be like, shit, I'm 90s handsome. You know, I could pull up. It's just me alone. I thought I was gonna see more pictures. You wanna see a lot of people be like, oh yeah, I'm 90s fine. I'm 90s handsome. You gonna see a lot of that aesthetic going up. Look.
So people talk about 90s fine like it was some So people talk about 90s fine like it was some lost era of beauty. But if we're honest, the real difference, mystery. They could walk into a room, say almost nothing, and the silence made them magnetic. Today, we've become the they were cute until I heard them speak generation. So people talk about 90s fine like it was some.
The women loved Genuine back then. Let's be real. But it was also, yeah, it was a type of swagger you had. It was a type of style. Like, yeah, your presence. They was right. Your presence spoke louder than you did. Sometimes you come in, and you had this aesthetic. You had this confidence. You had this walk. You had this talk. Like, where girls and men, it's just like you look at something, you be like, damn, she look good. It's just like you're walking. Like, I hope I don't get copyright rating for this, but let's look. Fresh Prince women. Okay. One more, we get back to the film. Let's see. Let's see what this is on.
That was a good era for women, bro. God damn. Yeah, but even the dudes, the Wayans brothers and shit, they had all the bad chicks in their movies. They had some. Who else had the bad chicks in the movie? Yeah. Like that was the first time I seen
Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He had some baddies. He had all the baddies.
Yeah, bro had them.
Man,
bro had them.
They don't make them like that no more, man.
See, what I'm looking for, there was a compilation of Fresh Prince episodes where it's like they used to introduce the women in there. And every time you come in, it'd be like, damn. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Damn. Like, man, I can't find it. So,
like,
this is a better video. Okay, here's a better video. Look at that. Look at this. And the thing is, a lot of these women, Lauryn Hill, god damn, like a lot of these women like had different styles. Like all of them look different. They don't look the same. They wasn't going for the same aesthetic. And then I feel like that's what ruined a lot of people. That's why people like 90s fine. I'm gonna keep letting this play for a while, but there was everybody had their own style. Everybody looked different, but everybody looked gorgeous and beautiful. You just didn't stick to one thing. Now everybody, like when we're saying the Kim K body, I hate saying the Kim K body. I more or less because Kim K got her body from black women and people. But you know, for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna just say it. When people just wanted the Kim K body, everybody wanted the BBLs and the hourglass shapes and all that other stuff. Where it's just like these women, all different shapes, all different styles, all different colors, and all different type of fashion, different hair. Like not one of them looked the same. Not one. They all look different. So it was just like 90s fun. To think about 90s fun, there was a variety of women that just looked good in their own style. Not everybody looking the same and some shit like that. Because even the men today, they talk about, yeah, all these bitches look the same. They got the same look. They got the same. They go to the same doctor and all that other stuff. 90s fine. One more time. Look at that, Janet. We gonna look at this. Look how different a lot of these women look from each other. Look at that. Look at that. Especially Janet. Look at Janet. That's when Janet was. That's when Janet was at her sexiest. Look, and all of it didn't look the same. Different girls, different shades, different types of bodies, different styles. That's what 90. And this is why, like I tell people, this is why I slurp the 90s so much, because not everybody was trying to copy each other. Everybody had their own style. Maybe somewhere maybe in the same form and fashion, but someone always flipped it to where bite like you couldn't bite no one's style in the 90s. Like you was not biting no one's style in the 90s when it came to being 90s fine. And even with the men, like even the men, they had their own style. This is a no homo moment, but for any women that's gonna be out here, because they say it to the they say that. Look at that. D'Angelo, DMX, Genuine, Denzel, Tupac, Lorenz Tate. I can't remember that. Like, look at it. These are people we grew up with. And this is which is why, like, look at it. Tyrese, LL Cool J, Shamal Moore. They love Shamal Moore. Terrence Howard, Romeo, rest in peace. Tay Diggs. Like, even, like, this is what I was talking about, because it's just like everybody had their own style, everybody had their own unique look to them, where it's just like you didn't sit with one style. Okay, his style was different from DMX is way different from Snoop Dogg, right? But they had their own style. LL Cool J was way different from Shamar Moore or Tyson Beckford and all the other stuff. Yeah, though they was, and also a lot of these men were in shape too. Like you saw D'Angelo. If any woman could tell you, if they ever saw D'Angelo's Untitled video, they fell in love with D'Angelo then. Like that Untitled video was just, that was women's softcore porn, if you ask me. And like women just fell in love with that. It was just him naked from the waist up, and women just falling in love with that. So that's the aesthetic I was talking about. And this is why like a lot of people, including myself, slept in the 90s. But let's get back into the video.
Or Blair Waldorf in Gossip Girl. This is pretty much what Old Money aspires to be. It's inspired by the classic preppy style, but with a lot less colour. Now, this aesthetic became very popular on social media, and a lot of women were posting before and after photos or before and after videos showing how they used to dress versus how they dress now. But the women who embraced the more modest look,
that looked like Solange. That girl
and a lot of women were posting before and after photos or before and after videos.
See what I mean? She looked like Solange. I would have thought that was Solange. That's not Solange. She's probably not even black. She just looked like Solange.
Videos showing how they used to dress versus how they dress now. But the women who embrace the more modest look because they aspire for the old money aesthetic, they don't state things like the male gaze or male attraction as the reason why they've decided to change their style. And so initially I thought that maybe they were completely disconnected and there was no link between these women in terms of why they were all seeming to embrace modesty around the same time, until I started noticing old money influencers who make videos categorizing different looks into elegant versus not elegant. They also make videos separating looks into old money versus new money or no money.
Old money, no money. Old money, no money.
Yes, you did indeed witness that correctly. She categorized Kylie Jenner as no money because of her dress choice. Now, this is one of the criticisms that people have.
Kylie Jenner's a self-made, let me not say self-made billionaire. She came from money, but she did end up making her own money. That's wild. That's wild. And also, a lot of white girls was not mocking, but they was mimicking Kylie Jenner too. So for them to say that shit's wild.
About old money is that it can have a bit of a snobbery problem, because at the end of the day it's not just about money, right? It's about judging taste. And because of that, this is how you end up with one of the richest women on the planet who's had one of the most privileged lives being classified as no money because of her dress choice. But from seeing these videos, you can clearly see what kind of aesthetic old money rejects. And it's interestingly the same aesthetic that the feminists and the Christian women reject. And this seems to be what connects all three of them, because they don't share the same beliefs, they don't even necessarily share the same destination, but they do share the same exit. Every single one of them seems to be walking away from the same thing, which is the baddie era that rose in the 2010s. Now, walking away from the same thing, which is the baddie era.
I'm trying to figure out what I was going to say. I'm sorry about the dead air, but I'm just analyzing some of these shits because a lot of these women still dress like this today. Some of the new money stuff is, although modest, some of it is you can like dress that, but I think the baddies era is more or less in the face and the makeup, because like I said, everybody was going for the same look. You notice how all of these women look the same. They all got the same styles and all that other stuff. All these women started looking the same. And like I said, from the 90s ones, yes, they were all beautiful, but they all look different. Notice how all these women look the same.
era that rose in the 2010s. Now, this is a time where extra was king. People had bigger hair, people had fuller glam makeup looks, people had longer, colourful nails, lip filler, BBLs, more curves, more skin on show. A time where generally doing the most reigned supreme. Yet all three groups of women have seemingly agreed to leave this time behind. The feminists walk away because they reject the male gaze, the Christian women walk away because of their faith, and the old money walk away because they view that old look as being tacky and less refined. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, are we not sure that people leaving that era behind and the aesthetic that came with it is not just down to the economy? Because a lot of the things that people were doing during that time were very expensive. Except the reason why that explanation falls apart is when you consider what a lot of these women are moving towards. The women who are moving towards the old money aesthetic, where the whole idea is to look expensive, they're choosing to...
I was about to say, old money costs more. There's a reason why they call it old money. That money sits with you. Even the term old money is like money that you haven't spent yet. It just sits with you. That old money you can grow into older money. So a lot of that. So even with that aesthetic, like you see the country club people, the whole Dallas white shit, like them white TV shows where the rich white people, they're trying to dress like them, more or less try to dress like them, and a lot of their clothes are more restricted, but you can still get the shit off of Shein, and that's where like a lot of the baddie stuff was, the Fashion Nova, the Sheins, the Temu's, and all that other stuff. That's where most of that come from. So there you have it.
Spend more money on fewer but high quality pieces. And also consider other things that women are gravitating towards nowadays, like the clean girl aesthetic, which is basically where you look like you are effortless while putting in a lot of effort. That also requires time and also money. The economy explanation also doesn't explain why we've seen a rise in young women dissolving their lip fillers, or why we've seen a rise in young women getting their BBLs reduced or removed. Because I don't know about you, but I've personally never known anyone to save money by paying more money to undo procedures. The financial explanation also gets more complicated when you take a look back and think about what was actually happening in the 2010s. Because the baddie aesthetic was only one of many. We also had other really popular aesthetics like the hype aesthetic. This is where brands like Off-White and Supreme and many others basically turned branding into a shouting match. This was also the time where it was very popular to flex, people on social media bragging about what they were driving, what they had. This was a time of hyper-consumerism. Now, bear in mind that these trends were taking off right off the back of the 2008 recession. This would have been a time where young people had really high levels of unemployment and where a lot of people were still struggling to recover from what had happened in that crash. But despite young people experiencing a lot of financial strain during that time, these trends soared and rose in popularity because of things like the birth of viral internet culture and Instagram aesthetics. So while money might be able to explain why some women have stopped embracing this aesthetic, it doesn't explain the whole shift. So the question, I guess, is if it's not about money and it's not about politics, then what is it actually about? Because to be honest with you, I don't even think it's about clothes. Because honestly, at first, I thought that this was just about an interesting shift towards more modest clothing. But then the more I looked into it, the more I started to think that this might actually just be one symptom of a much bigger shift. I think that the 2010s represented more than just fashion statements. I think that they also represented an era of maximalism. Because like I said, this was the time of being very extra. A whole decade that...
Oh Lord, yeah. Everything was name brand. That's where when people really started caring about name brand shit, and like people like Supreme, like the Gucci's, the Louis, the Pradas, like they would literally throw a lot of these brands in your face, so to where it's just people thought, I'm Louis down, I'm Gucci'd up, or I'm Prada out, or something like that. Like even when the boy, like some of their stuff, like a headband that had Fendi on it, like that cost you like $300, and people just going around buying it, say this is $300 headband. Balenciaga was the worst, because Balenciaga will put some of the most garbage shit out, and people go, oh yeah, but this is Balenciaga though. The shoes are ugly, but they Balenciaga. Kanye West with the you dress like homeless people, but people's like, oh no, but these are Yeezys though. These come from the Yeezy seasons, which you over here dressing like a homeless person. I never understood it. And even then, that was just like kind of like a Balenciaga shirt with a bunch of holes in it cost like $200. I'm not joking. Like anybody could see, anybody can tell you. It's like, why the fuck is anybody paying for like homeless gear? But yeah, that was a lot of flexing during that era. So.
That ran on excess and being loud. People wore bolder, brighter colors. People were caking makeup on with these full glam looks. People had tons of skincare to do like 20-step skincare routines. Big fashion hauls were very popular content online, with brands like PLT and Fashion Nova dominating that scene. This is a time where fast fashion and overconsumption was at its peak for a lot of young women. They were buying tons of new makeup releases, tons of new clothing drops. There was so many things happening and so many things to buy. Not only was there a lot of excess in terms of what people were purchasing at the time, but there was also a lot of excess in terms of what young women were doing at the time, showing more skin, showing more curves, wearing bolder colors. Like I said, this was a time of being very extra, where young women were wearing blue lipsticks and we were contouring our faces like drag queens. We were having the time of our lives. Honestly, it was a time to be alive. The 2010s were very interesting because in a weird way, everyone looked the same, but also very different. And everyone was very experimental. But one thing you can't deny about the 2010s.
I'm going to disagree with that, but everybody just did look the same. Because everybody was following the same people. That's when Kim K was at her most popular too, because everybody was following. Anything Kim K did, people followed. Anything Rihanna did, people followed. Anything Beyonce did, they followed like a religion. So I don't want to say people look different. It was like there was no difference. Like there was Blac Chyna. I know she done found God, and like I don't think she even goes by Blac Chyna. I think she goes by a real name, Angela White. But Blac Chyna looked like Nicki Minaj. But but the funny thing is, like Blac Chyna even had a bitch that looked like her, and I can't even remember her fucking name, but she looked like her. I remember when Tiger was messing with another joint, and they was calling her Kylie Jenner clone. And looked nothing. It was a black woman that looked nothing like Kylie Jenner, but they was called the Kylie Jenner clone. But everybody was looking like everybody. But so I disagree on the difference thing. But the same, yeah, definitely agree with that.
Is that they were very loud and they were very out there. And it does seem to me that this is what all of these women seem to be walking away from. Because when you think about all the kind of things that young women now seem to be gravitating towards, the slick back bun, the clean girl no makeup look, the more modest clothing with more muted, more toned down colours. And it's not just the aesthetic. Think about all the other things that a lot of young women are now rejecting and now walking away from. Things like overconsumption. People become a lot more critical about how much they're purchasing and how much they're consuming. And yes, part of that is the economy, but also part of it is the desire to be a lot less wasteful. They're also rejecting things like fast fashion. They're also rejecting things like oversharing on social media, which were all things that were very popular in the 2010s. This was the peak of influencer culture, where lifestyle content and all that kind of content was very popular. Yet we have seen that also decline in popularity. And so this is why I said I think it's actually much bigger than just clothes. I think what we're actually witnessing is different women who usually don't agree on anything quietly agreeing that it's the end of an era. And I think that their new aesthetic and their new choice in clothing is just a visual clue of them leaving that part of their history behind. But I would like to know what you think. Have you noticed your own style changing? Have you noticed that it's gone in a more modest direction as well? And why do you think that that's been the case for you? Also, I would like to know if you've noticed this shift and if you have any theories on why you think it's happening. Do let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments down below. I always love to read them. If you found this video interesting, please do like and subscribe so other people can also discover this video. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. I will see you in my next video.
That was a good video. It was a nice, well put together video. There was a lot of stuff that I think she put out that it was very good information, and honestly, I hope more or less the modest style kind of like pop up, because I think a lot of people is just like, we're growing. Even as millennials, I know millennials are mostly in their 30s and 40s, but a lot of our stuff, we're still trying to hold on to nostalgic things, especially some of the more older millennials. We're still trying to hold on. Like I think that's why even with our celebrities, like we're still looking at the Taraji, and I'm speaking on black people. We're still looking at the Taraji P's that everybody that kind of like emerged from the '90s. We're still kind of looking at them. Like we don't really put out new stars like that. I couldn't tell you a new star outside of Chloe and Halle Berry, but we're not really. We're still stuck on the people we grew up with. We're not really just pushing new young black stars out there. So, but that's another story. But yeah, overall great video. I think that's about it. I never said that much. Make sure if y'all like what she did, give her a follow. But to me, I'm going to end this. I'd like to thank you, whoever came through. I'd like to thank y'all for jumping in. And this is the after party. My name is